Hello, everyone, to episode 118. This is the pre-show. This is us fishing for a good TWID, and we're probably going to be fishing for a while. So, just like me in this season, just trying to fish for something good to come along, and we're just wasting my time. How about you all?
Hot Rhine. That's let's go in German. I learned that in the TWID today at the very end. So getting to learn a second language while we read all 58 words that are written about Destiny 2 this week. So,
well, what Jared said.
Okay.
I just got back from vacation today.
Yeah.
I was at the final boss fight of FF7 Remake. So got that knocked out when I returned. I did a little bit of the seasonal stuff. And then it was time to eat and then podcast. So
we're gonna play some 14.
We'll see. I very much value my marriage. That's the only thing stopping me.
Hey, in California, we can get married.
Yes.
It works out.
I think you can in Kentucky, but it depends on where you go because sometimes the people at the courthouse refuse to do it. It turns into a whole thing.
Makes sense.
Rowan County, Kentucky. You can look it up.
Oh, man. Looking forward to somehow coming up with 3 likes and 3 dislikes for this week. So it's going to be interesting to hear that for that segment. Weapons breakdown. We're actually going to have a weapons breakdown. We're going to have Loaded Question and Braytech Osprey. So that's Nightfall weapons for this season. That's the new ones that came around.
Huh. That PvE roll on Loaded Question looks interesting. That I see you have down here.
Yeah. Yep.
I hope I get that on the one Grandmaster that it drops in this season.
I actually think I'm going to spend after we get one to drop, I'll spend the currency, whatever I've been built. I've yet to buy a gun
Good call
on that.
Big brain.
It's not a hard GM this week, so it's dropping this week. So it's one on the old Cosmodrome. I think it's not the
Fallen the servitor.
Yeah,
the servitor one?
not the servitor. It's the big shank.
Oh,
Saber.
Oh. That's a quick boy. Fallen Saber 2.
Yep.
Not 1, but 2.
Overload barrier, right? Let me think.
Yep.
So we got auto rifles.
No.
Or arbalest.
Yeah, we have arbalest.
And then trace rifles. And scouts.
Yeah.
So arbalest scout.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then rockets.
Yep.
Just bang out the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, arbalest and scouts would be good in that boss room. It'll help you get the shanks out.
The tracer shanks.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing you forget is that it takes 17 shots with a scout rifle to kill something. So
I said arbalest.
Yeah.
Tink, tink, tink. Just, I'm running out of arbalest. Well, there's no more anti-barriers. We're on the last wave. Oh, man.
Oh my! The
right.
unknown soldier just has started playing Destiny 2 again.
Oh, I thought he retired.
Yeah.
I thought he was a race car man now, playing this Forza. and his
Oh,
Gran
Forza?
Turismo.
Okay. I feel like
Actually, it's Turismo.
that'd be a fun game to
So it's
really
more
get
time in
into on PC. And I can actually
What?
have
What?
What? Which one? Me or him?
And then
I don't
I
know.
was, you guys were both talking at the same time. So
No, it would be really fun on a computer.
Yeah, you
To
actually have
get
the
the whole
wheel.
setup going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think, well, he has that, like the G9 or whatever. He has like this 49-inch super ultra
Oh.
mega thing.
Mm-hmm.
That 6-ply, it counts for 10 sheets
And
instead of one.
and he probably has like a racing seat and all that stuff too, if I had to guess. No, like he's super into cars, but he doesn't talk about it a lot. But my God, if you ever bring it up to him, he'll never shut up. So
Okay.
highly recommend you don't.
Dang. Get all those links posted.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man.
Let me pour me a little drink, see, and I'll be ready. What are you drinking tonight, Jared?
Seltzer water.
I got the Elvis juice.
Yeah.
An Old Faithful,
And,
yeah.
Oh wow.
Since Ryan never asked
New
me,
bottle.
water.
What brand of water is that?
This is Ralph's brand water.
I got the Great Value. I know they don't have
Ooh.
these in California, but this is the Walmart brand.
Not that I've ever seen. I've never seen one before in my life.
For all the dozens of listeners out there, Chad has never been inside of a Walmart. So
Never even looked upon one of their buildings.
Listen,
I'm kidding,
Walmart's fine, but Walmart parking lot's where it's at.
Never been there either.
bad things.
For all the funds to be had, apparently. I wouldn't know. I'm not fun.
That's why when he's like cool, and when he's 18 years old, you go there and you get a pack of clothes and just smoke in the parking lot. So, because couldn't bring them home.
Yeah.
Pack of clothes. Jesus Christ.
It's the truth.
Jeez. I wasn't fun. I'd roll into Vaughn's and walk out of there with potato wedges, chicken strips, a bucket of ranch, and just sit out front. Just sitting there. Man, it's pretty good. It's good chicken, man.
I remember waiting for a Nintendo Wii in the Kmart parking lot one time because Kmart wasn't open 24
hell
hours, so
yeah.
they closed. So I had a plug inside that worked there, and they're like, "Hey, we got 3 of them. They're opening up."
Yeah.
So me and Jeremiah got there at somewhere around right after Taco Bell closed. Like we went to Taco Bell, closed them down, and then went and sat in the Kmart parking lot on the tailgate of his truck from like 2:30 a.m. till they opened at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday. At one point, we thought we were going to have to just lay in the bed next to each other to stay warm because it was so cold.
Oh my.
So, the old GMC Sonoma,
Yeah.
All right. Everybody join the Zencaster.
Yeah.
Squiggle, 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 squiggle.
Jared, talk.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, I
it's
gotcha.
squiggling, but it's
Got
on
the
the
baby
low.
squiggles.
it's on the low, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget,
Oops.
we gotta
Excuse me.
join back after for the intro or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, clicking the button. Eyes up, Guardians. We are live for episode 118 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is June the 22nd, and I am the Destiny bad boy, NotRyanFox, here with my fire team, who all of you CCBs know by now. Jared.
All right, everyone, make sure you pay attention because the TWID will be over in a snap of a finger, and you'll miss it. And then after that, we do have a weapons breakdown this week, and look for those likes and dislikes. They might be spicy this week.
And the chronicler himself, Chadocero.
It has been a spicy lore week as of reset. Real spicy. Excited to talk about it. I'm sure Jared or Ryan will bring it up so I can talk about it.
And make sure if you're watching us on YouTube that you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us Bungie friend requests so we can play games together because my online list is getting pretty slim, as well as our active clan list. So it'd be a really good time if you want help running some activities. We did get the smallest TWID in history. I think I can say that with pretty good confidence. And that was from Timon with a would it be like a hat tip or maybe like a behind the back pass to a little hippie section and then a Bruno section. So all three people combined to write a total of about 478 words. But before we get into that, let's listen to the intro music who came from everybody's favorite Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG.
All right, we do not have the music hooked up because we have a system change and we haven't figured it out yet. So we'll get back to the pod shortly.
Chad, that intro was 152.
And then what, the music is like 30 seconds?
33.
33, so 152. 222. Ooh, neat. 223. Just put that right here.
Chad, you got to join.
Yeah, I was typing. I was doing math in my head. Hard math. Ryan, you gotta join.
Squiggles.
Yep.
Yep.
Starting. I'll point at you.
All right, here we are. Starting out with the TWID. TWID starts out with just a quick recap of what we talked about last week and the weeks before that. So all you longtime listeners already knows what's going on. This week we got fish to go catch in the Throne World. So if you didn't pay attention, there's a bounty to go pick up from Hawthorne. If you was some jabroni like me and got it done Tuesday night, you didn't catch the exotic fish that you needed to start the exotic quest that looks to be time gated with fishing. So I'm going to have to go back to fishing on the Throne World after catching 3 exotic fish Tuesday night. So I'm pretty sure I won't be catching any exotic fish for quite a while now because all my RNG is used up. So, yeah. Did you all see that?
Sorry for your loss.
So, like, last night I was, like, going to bed, and then I seen it start popping up. I think like, Destiny Bulletin put it out there. But, like, somebody's finally catching that fish after Bungie put out that update to where they conveniently left out, where they didn't turn on the fish to go catch. So,
What's the name of the fish?
I have to go look it up.
Why
don't
would
worry
you do
about
that? You always ask these questions.
I don't know. Because I haven't got to fish yet, man. I told you I've been
And why
being
would we know that? We
vacation
haven't.
dad.
Neither of us have seen it yet.
Well, you act like you haven't watched a YouTube video about it or something.
I haven't. I was actually going to ask
Alright.
Jared a question. So, because we talked about it like on Tuesday night, we were like, I don't think this event is, or this quest has been released correctly because nobody's caught the fish that's been released in game
Mm-hmm.
because the triumph has been unlocked, but nobody's seen it.
Yeah.
So I guess it unlocked last night.
It's the
Or
whispering
somebody started-
moth carp.
I remember the moth part, but I couldn't remember anything else. I was like, I remember it had moth because it's in the throne world, but I don't remember
Yeah.
anything else. Makes sense. Okay, so people started catching it last night.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means I can actually go ahead and take part.
Supposedly. Not been confirmed.
Wonder,
by me.
Yeah. Hopefully, and it gives you like it'll show up something in like your tackle box that you then have to take back to the aquarium. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. You go back and release.
Just like
it.
all the other fish, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it'll start swimming about,
Mhm.
doing this little fishy thing. Okay, well, that's something to do tonight. Cool. else we got?
All right. Bungie Day Giving Festival is coming up. So Bungie Day is July 7th. So right around the corner. And this year's campaign returns with some bigger incentive prizes and surprises yet. The festival kicks off Thursday, July 6th at 10 a.m. PST with our first featured stream and then fun to go through July 23rd. So you got a couple weeks there of this giving festival. There'll be more ways to get involved this year with the campaigns, and stay tuned for a special blog post next Wednesday, June 28th, for full details on how to register and how you can earn and win and learn and contribute to all the good stuff. So, all right, that's that. All right, there's some player support report, known issues. There is a movie of the week that is surprising. So I feel like if you're a person that puts out stuff for the movie of the week, either you're really disappointed with this, or you're like, oh, I could actually go out and win this. I just need to put forth a little more effort, and you'll win.
Yeah, get somebody that has a big following to like retweet it or something. Maybe that's the.
Well, you gotta get
Maybe that's
somebody.
play.
You gotta get somebody to retweet it that actually like hypes up Bungie and never says anything negative about them. Because then, I mean, they muted all.
NotRyanFox.
They muted all those people. Yeah.
That's your guy. Actually, this apologize for butchering this name. Gorathian. Gorathian. 349 followers. So they're not really killing it.
Okay. All right, and then we got one of like the Drifter and somebody fishing. Not sure who the other character is. So, yeah, we do have a mid-season weapons tuning update coming in July. So we have that to look forward to. So I guess we're going to wait around for that TWID to finally hit for us to get excited. Now, this week in the game, if you played the story, you got to know how the witness came to be about. And Chad, what is there any highlights there that you want to touch on now that we're not stepping on lore? That we need to, talk about that cutscene.
Well, anyone that's listening is probably watched the cutscene or played it, except for Ryan.
Saw it this morning.
There you go. He saw it.
This afternoon.
There you go. Sometime today. But essentially what was posted, which I think I remember having a guess because just the way the witness looks. And then I remember reading something about someone else on Reddit was guessing this as well. But the witness's species looks like they unearthed on their planet the traveler, like the traveler that we have. They unearthed it. It gave them a golden age, and they even in the cutscene it says eons, which is a long time, unspecified. But for a very long time, the traveler was there, and they kept expanding, had these technological advancements, amazing stuff. Obviously, based off the pyramids, or the pyramid ships are a testament to their power that they had at the time. They didn't have light like we did. They were able to harness light in a way, but they weren't just wielding light like a guardian does. But after a certain amount of time, they found out that the traveler also brings natural disasters and stuff like that on a huge planetary scale. And then they found the veil and used that to connect the darkness, which they were going to use to tap into the light in the traveler, and it ran away. But the most important thing, I think, is that based off of this, you can kind of, I want to say, pontificate that the witness's species is the first that we know of that was touched by the traveler, because they unearthed it. It was in the ground. So it is the first race that got the traveler's blessings and went through a golden age because of it. So that part is the most interesting part to me. But then obviously they went and decided, hey, we need to chase this thing down and complete our plan. So they merged all the people of their species decided to become one being. And that's why you see all the faces in the smoke and stuff. And it's all they are Legion, if you know that reference. But it's the entire species is that one person. So it's pretty rad. But it's definitely a good amount of backstory that we didn't have. Based on what information it gave us on the Veil, it probably should have been in at like near the end of Lightfall or something, in that campaign a little bit there. Maybe after we saw the Veil, something happened where we connected to it. I don't know, but it seems like it's, a season late, but at least we got it.
So the Veil is just another powerful engine in the universe, just like the Traveler, but not.
Yeah.
The
but
Traveler
it's on
gives
the
out
darkness instead of the light.
Okay.
Mhm.
It can give out dark. Okay.
Is it kind of like a neural network or something?
I mean, the darkness is based off of, I think they said memory.
Mm-hmm.
So it using connecting minds makes sense. Because I think that's how they said how they created the not the cybernet, but how they created the net on Neomuna where everybody's on, is they connected everybody's minds. And if the darkness is all about memory, which is all about your mind, why not? Like, that makes sense that it would be able to create this basically an entire citywide, and I don't even know how many citizens the city has, but it's got to be like a major metropolis amount of people like Tokyo or something, all connected to this one thing. So it's got some juice.
There's only one you can actually see, though.
Yeah.
The entire city.
Well, there were two.
All right, so that is it for the TWAB and this week in Destiny, the TWID. I don't know how many times I'm still going to say TWAB because it deserves to be called TWID this week. How terrible it was. But
more like shit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for 3 likes and 3 dislikes. So originally I was going to say that my like was the cutscene. That's kind of rough to pick on at this point. And so my like is that I got the red borders done for all the seasonal weapons. Because I loaded in this week. And I was just like, oh, I need to go purchase a red border. And I go in, I was like, none of them lit up red. I was like, huh. So I went back through and checked the weapons. Oh, I have them all done. So I didn't even realize
There we go.
I got them done. So there they are. There you go.
My like was been running Last Wish once a week. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a very smooth experience. It's a very easy. If you know the mechanics, there really are no damage checks, honestly, anymore. Shirochi, like you don't have to worry about damage there. It's just the puzzles, and then it's literally just if you understand the mechanics, the raid is simple. And we had such a pleasant experience last week. I think we're going to go for the Petra's run this week, or at least I've been pestering everybody to do it. And we're going to get that done, and we're all going to become Riven's Bane.
Yeah, everybody that's got all this stuff done will become it, and the other ones will be one step closer. I think that one's actually all three of us for once. But my like is being done with Banana for the season. I had yesterday off, and I went into Banana needing 10 more wins, and I got them.
Wow.
So I got the gilding done, and I'm out of
Good
there.
job.
I bounced out of there. Done for the season. I'm super happy about that. It wasn't as bad as last season. Playing during a weekday really was a lot easier than playing after work on work nights.
Really?
When all the boys are on. Dude, it was like a win and then 2 losses and then a win again. When I've been on like 15, 17 game losing streaks. It's wild. Like I've never had that good of a luck in Banana when I play at a normal time. And by normal I mean an adult time frame after work. So it was nice. I had a couple of really close games that somebody clutched up and got the kill right before the other person did, and it was like 151 to 149, and it was like, yes. So that felt good, and a couple of blowouts, but otherwise it was like a good 20-point gap on either side. It was either like, oh, we're gonna lose, so I'm just gonna kind of do whatever for the next minute. But no, it was a good time. I'm glad I got that done, but I'm get to move into something else like fishing, trying to catch that moth carp. Now my dislike was that Ryan wasn't on, so we didn't get to get our GM done last night. And because of that, Jared and I just hung out on comms, and we didn't play anything either together. Oh, we fished on Tuesday, but it was weird, man, because we're like, we could do dungeon, or like, nah, Shifty isn't on, Ryan's on vacation. It's like, we can't do a GM for the same reason. So Wednesday comes along, same thing. Jared's wife's like, I don't want to do a dungeon. It's like, okay, that's fine. We'll just, we'll fish or do whatever. It's fine. But I'm glad Ryan's back. We're going to get that last wish in. We're going to get some dungeon boss kills in for Jared to get that exotic done.
Oh, yeah.
And get that GM out of the way.
That way, and once he gets that exotic, we got to go get that caddy out of there.
And then we're done.
And then never again. No. No, I'm just teasing. I mean, that dungeon it's fine. It's not my favorite, but it could be worse. My dislike is all of you that get on Twitter and other social media websites and just really go to town real bad on the Destiny. It makes me very upset, and it makes me hate everybody that does it.
So my dislike's going to be close, but like the amount of bitching and moaning about microtransactions in a video game is pretty up there right now. I seen as across the video, I seen Dada's reaction to the video. Bungie is a company that wants to make money, even though that they can be very well spoken when it comes to social issues and caring about the community. Their number one goal is to make money, and that's what they do. So they do it well, and apparently there's enough people out there that's paying for all those microtransactions $10 skins, $15, $20 skins. They're paying for them, and they're making money. So don't be pointing your finger at Bungie, saying, oh, you're locking stuff out from Bright Dust and being silver-only items. That means there's a bunch of other players out there that's just buying it.
Yep, you're right. And I mean, I haven't bought anything in 3 seasons, I think, with silver.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of just, it's really hard to spend $15 on a set just for the sole purpose of like, I have all the other Warlock sets, so I need this one. Like, I don't even think it looks good. Like, I don't like it. I don't plan to use it. It's just, well, I have every other one, so I need to have this one too. Nope. No, says I. So, I think that's it. Listen, if you're enjoying the game right now, stay away from the internet and reading about the game and just go in and have fun. Because what you see, it is a cesspool. It is like Curse of Osiris, Destiny 2 launch bad at the moment. Like it's real bad out there. And everybody has an opinion. And, you know, I saw for 20, you know, I was on vacation. So in the evenings when the kids would go to bed and we'd be in the room, like I would just be scrolling. And it was just, I can't believe Bungie is so evil. They stole this piece of artwork from an artist that submitted it onto Bungie's website that has terms of service that says Bungie has full use to use it, you know? And it's like, Bungie's so bad. Bungie's so bad. And then they come out and they put 3 sentences out that's like, hey, somebody externally that was contracted thought this was an official piece of artwork. We've reached out to the person that the original artist to make things right. And everybody's like, oh my God, thank you. Way to go, Bungie. Oh, thank you. Bungie, you made it right. Oh, thank you. Like, it's just complaining to complain. That's all it is. People aren't happy with the game, so whatever they can find to be unhappy about, they just yell it from the rooftops of Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, the old saying,
avoid it.
the old saying, misery loves company. That's what Reddit is. That's what Twitter is. That's what Facebook is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, every content creator, all of them, everybody's just so negative right now. So you got Grenader Jake just going off on his stream, which, to be fair, he's put more time in than all of us. So, you know, I can understand that one, but
it's also
it is what it is. Just
the cheaters taking him out too on his like carries.
Yeah, and why doesn't he realize if he just wouldn't complain so much about people sniping him that they would stop? Like, it sucks. I can imagine how bad it sucks for him, but he brings like 70% of that on himself.
What country does he live in?
He's a Canadian boy, isn't he?
I thought
Canadian
so.
boy? Okay, so it might be a leak from America or just a general a state of humanity is just we like to complain more than we like to fix the problem. You feel better when you complain than fixing it. So, I mean, it's just, you know, it's like when you have an irate customer and they're just mad and you can cleanly fix the problem and they're still looking at you like they want to yell. It's like, yeah, no, you just wanted to be mad. That's fine. I get it.
Yep.
Would you like me to pretend the problem isn't fixed so you can keep yelling? Yes, please.
So I had this conversation with my wife. She's like, why don't you want to play more? Like, I got her into the seasons. It's like, well, I completed the season pass, number one. Like, I'm like 115 now. And like I was getting prepared for the podcast, you know, and I wasn't like playing the game. I was just like, well, you know, not a lot for me to want to go do right now. A lot of the, you know, the strikes have been going for a long time, but it's a good quality game. I've played the crap out of it, you know. So
word. So he grew up in the Bay Area, and he now lives in Vancouver, but it's Vancouver, Washington. So that's where the Canadian thing. I thought I had heard him mention Vancouver before.
So pretty much Canada.
Yeah, like America's Canada.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Why we called it Vancouver.
All right, so let's head over to this weapons breakdown. So this week, we're doing the 2 Nightfall weapons that is recently new for the season, and that's Loaded Question, which is reprised from previous Sunsetting. And then Braytech Osprey, which also was a part of Sunsetting. So, Loaded Question, we're going to go that up first. So you can get the OG roll basically with auto-loading holster and reservoir burst in columns 3 and 4. But there's some other stuff to chase after now. So in column 3, you can also get overflow. And then column 4, you get the new controlled burst we talked about last week. But when you land every bolt, it increases. You have a faster charge time for a short duration. So I would want to compass overflow. I would say is better than auto-loading holster, but ALH is a good second place to pair with reservoir or controlled. Now this is the frame that Chad likes, which is the high impact frame. So Chad, how are you liking this for a PvP roll chase?
That last column makes me kind of sad because Eye of the Storm is really the only one that makes that much of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get a pretty major boost on accuracy with that Eye of the Storm.
Yeah.
But it's risky because the time to kill is very fast, and you before you can get that shot off, you might just die. But since it's a whole second charge time, if you start charging right when they start shooting at you, you might be in the red by the time you're ready to fire.
Yeah.
So you know, it could end up being good if you're not a pre-charger. But under pressure is always a good thing. It's always there. If you use fusions as a last resort, overflow or envious is fine. If you pick up all the greens and you just want to switch to a weapon that's fully loaded, but under pressure is there. It's good. Eye of the Storm's good. But for PvP, I always like the Amalon fusions the most. But yeah, you can never go wrong with an under pressure fusion.
All right, and Chad, you're going all range, right?
Yeah, on
Okay.
these bad boys. I think I made a roll, and you can get it to, with adept range, if you get the adept one, you can get it up to 82. So you can get a little bit of range out of it. You know, you can really push it.
All right, next up is a rocket launcher, Braytech Osprey, and it's a void high impact frame. So, not a crazy rolls here to go after, but definitely a few good things. And of course, column 2, the mag perk, it's impact casing for PvE. It's always impact casing, almost to a point where I wouldn't be surprised if they just nerf impact casing to make people go after some of the other perks in that column for some reason, because it's just been a no-brainer for too long. Column 3, you have good old auto-loading holster, field prep, and then envious assassin. Column 4, you have frenzy, golden tricorn, lasting impression, and then you have that new perk bipod that no one's using, dead on arrival, has to be getting buffed here soon to make it not so bad. So I guess if I get a bipod one, I'm throwing it in the vault, but I can always change Apex Predator over the bipod if it ends up being great. So for PvE, I'm going impact casing, envious assassin with frenzy. Also good talk.
Pretty
Yeah,
well
that sounds
the-
like a fun roll.
Pretty well the main thing, yeah.
You could talk.
Braytech Osprey, was that the rocket that initially came in the Zol strike?
I know you got it from Mars. I don't remember if that's. You had to get
I
from the strike.
can't remember if it was exclusive, but you might be right. All I remember is Mars, like Jared here. I remember it was a pain to get. I just don't remember why.
Wasn't it like you had to get that before you got the Polaris Lance or something?
Yeah, you had to get one of each of the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember it being a pain because it was like a very low drop rate on a specific strike, and you had to do that in order to get that one title that was like do everything from all the planets. Like
Oh,
the
the
first
destination
title.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Wayfarer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
You had to
Man, good
you had to
call.
get the badges done, right?
Yep, and you had to get that, and I think that's why it was difficult. I could definitely be wrong, but I remember I really wanted a title when they came out, and that was the one that I was most close to.
I don't remember my first title.
It's
Maybe-
probably Dredgen. Mine was Wayfarer and then Dredgen.
It's probably Dredgen then Conqueror, yeah. All right, so that's weapons breakdown this week. If you have his Braytech rocket, you can get Cluster Bomb and Calm 3, and then maybe like Chain Reaction for PvP. Like, I guess just more explosions, and then if you get a kill, you get to do another explosion. I don't know. Maybe Bipod.
No.
Maybe Bipod's good in PvP. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. All right. No GM notes this week. We're going to probably put out. We might get that video out this weekend. Might do one. Might do one live and fast.
Yeah. Real quick.
Yep,
0 to
yep, yep.
100.
Gambling Corner right now. I'm at 23K. Fox is at 10K. Chad's at 5K. Are we doing anything for Gambling Corner this week, Fox?
Of course, we got
Okay.
too much. We got way too much to not do a Gambling Corner this week.
All right.
So I had a couple things in mind. I didn't know if we wanted to do all of them as like small bets, or if we just wanted to choose one and go with it. Because theoretically, we have this week's Grandmaster, we have next week's Grandmaster, and we also have this Petra's run that we're building towards. So I was thinking for the Grandmasters, since we have 2 coming through, we gamble on how many total deaths we have across both of the GMs. Now that's going to put a little pressure on us to get this week's done and next week's done on either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then maybe do a little side pot on the Petra's run, like yes or no if we get it done.
Let's just pick one and go with it. Well, I think I would love to bet on the Petra's run, but that's like in question of us to get the people together. Are we getting the right six together? Let's just do the Grandmasters.
Okay. And we're going to assume that we get both of them done?
Yeah.
I think we can. Okay, so Jared, you're in the lead, so you can choose the order that we have to bet in number wise.
All right, Fox is going first.
All right. Let me kick this. Let me just say real fast. Gambling Corner weekly segment or nearly weekly segment, and in it we all start off with 10,000 glimmer each season. We then must make a bet each week, and if you ever go bankrupt, like if you don't hit your bet, then you have to sacrifice one weapon there. And if the other 2 members of the podcast determine the value of that weapon that you both sacrifice, so a Osteostriga that has, let's say rank 150 with 20,000 kills or something like that is going to be worth more than just like a level 1 Osteostriga that you have there. So, Jared 23, me 10, Chad 5. All right. Jared says I go first, and this is the total amount of deaths. I honest to God, I don't even know. Can you tell me what the strikes are, or at least what this strike is? This week's strike is. This week's Fallen Saber 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I have no idea what next week is.
Okay. Well, don't look it up.
Okay.
So if I don't know, you guys can't know.
All right.
Fallen Saber. I'm thinking probably 8 to 10 deaths in there because we kind of know what's going on, but we're also not playing as much this season. So we'll say 10. I'm going to say 24 total deaths.
Mm-hmm. We're doing like 2K ante or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And you can't go over. That's how we've done it this whole time so far.
Yep. All right. Chad, what are you thinking?
I wasn't. I'm just gonna say 25.
All right. Man, I could just be that guy, I guess. In my head, like whenever Fox was doing the math, I was like, I think it's going to be the Jordan number. But
Okay.
then you hit 24. But
I went with the Griffin number.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. Let's go with 19. I might hit it on the dot, but I think we're gonna get a little bit better. So that's
I
me
have a
with
very small window.
Yeah.
22 to 24. This is what my window is.
All right. So we'll stream those whenever they come about. We'll try to probably give a little bit better dialogue as we go through, but we always start out the video with our loadouts, and usually that loadouts is a pretty easy to obtain loadout. You can get it figured out. All right, that takes us to lore for the week. And Chad, you got Weapons of the Deep listed here. Is that what we'll go? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we're going through. We're going through all of the taken weapons that you can get, or at least the ones that I remembered off the top. I'll have to double check them later. But they're nice little snippets. Then it's not one long story like the armor, so we'll just dive right in here. We're starting with the pulse rifle, Different Times. At the base of the mesa, Lord Shax stands triumphant. Blood seeps into the grass at his feet as the warlord before him, legs shattered, makes a feeble attempt to drag himself away. It's over, Shax decrees. Bring out your ghost. The warlord shakes his head, hands trembling even as he claws at the hard-packed earth. In the distance atop the mesa, the setting sun kisses the parapets of Shax's castle, untouched by the violence in its shadow. Behind its walls, tendrils of smoke gently waft into the sky as the ghostless, under Shax's protection, begin preparing the fires for their meals. 6 warlords arrived to conquer his stronghold. 5 met their final death. Your ghost, Shax repeats. He steps forward, crushes the warlord's hand with his boot. The warlord cries out in pain, and all at once, the defiance leaves him like the breath in his lungs. His ghost materializes, their eye fixated on Shax in fear. Lord Shax shapes his solar light into a burning hammer, and with a single swing, a clang of molten metal shakes him back to the present. On the screen in front of him, a guardian tosses her hammer of soul into the opposing team. 5 erupt in flames as the lone survivor retreats. The guardian pursues. Shax, without missing a beat, refocuses his attention on the crucible match. Look at them fall, he shouts over the comms. A moment later, the Sunbreaker catches up to the last opponent and incinerates them. Shax cheers her on as the smoke swallows his memories of a different time. Until its return, the Strand shotgun. Whatever their odds of success, the plan was sound. They each had their assignments. Sloan turned away to examine the project of the lower sections of the arcology. Zavala glanced over the first of the scouting reports. Working alongside Deputy Commander Sloan felt perfectly natural, as if the years that parted them had been restored alongside Titan. Zavala had expected the silence that followed to be equally familiar, even companionable. The truth was apparent in the abrasive passage of each minute, the faint sense memory of ozone in his nostrils. The gulf between them had merely shifted in quality, deep, not wide. Zavala set the datapad aside. Sloan, there's one more item of business. She turned to face him, ever dutiful. Sir, it's been a day for reunions, hasn't it? He nodded to Tarj. A parcel materialized into Zavala's hand in a burst of light and transmat energy. It was heavy, wrapped carefully in cloth and secured with buckled straps that Zavala made short work of. Sloane stared. Thought it'd be collecting dust on somebody's wall by now. A mutual friend felt very strongly that it belonged in your hands. Sloane hesitated. Her expression hardened. She reached out to grip the handle of the blade and hefted Crown Splitter aloft with ease. Sloane smiled. Feels like it never left. Distant pulse, sniper. Titan fell into darkness only moments before the first Tombcraft arrived. They bore the burning sigils of war, dripping soulfire from their branded hulls as if it gushed from an open wound. Beneath the churning sea, a guardian light wrapped in metal yet to be coiled in promise watched the skies turn to ink, and hive fiends disembark the invading craft. Proclamations scattered across the methane ocean, eager words searing each wave's crest with jade flame. The hive's intent was clear. Tear asunder the claims of the witch's sister. Raise the banners of war. Led by a massive night, acolytes descended into depths once infested by denizens of the lie, down to where the song of trickery echoed from long-dead shrieks. They marched in adorant procession, surrounded by a host of thrall that defaced the remnant traces of Savathun's holdings with hungering delight. Held aloft in the claws of a central acolyte was a wizard's skull, recovered from the flame-licked wash before Titan's capture. The acolyte delicately placed the skull upon a ragged sheet of conquered foe flesh, while others carved a circle of runes around it. The acolyte took position over the runes. They threw their heads back and howled a discordant melody that ignited the rune circle, consuming each of them in soul fire conflagration. The melody took hold, flooding the flesh of the accompanying thralls with frenzy. They surged forward, kicked and clawed their kin in a mad scramble to reach the skull first, to claim it. Each time the melody thrummed, an acolyte turned to ash. Each time the melody thrummed, spilled thrall viscera twisted into fetid swirls around the skull. Blood and ash was offered until none remained. The knight stepped forward, brandishing a blade of deathly malice. I call Xivu Arath. I invoke war's presence. Take this dreg cast out by your sister. Take her claims as your own. The churning soul flame was drawn into the knight's deathly blade, then plunged into the wizard's skull. The runic circle projected an ancient realm, and the knight felt watchful eyes leering from atop a distant black terrace perched above the projected realm. The thunderous response pressed him to his knees. Kelgaroth, I accept thine offerings. Through will lies are unearthed. Through will lies are made truth. Through will lies fall to conquest. Kudazad abound, you are named in service. Rapacious appetite, submachine gun. To Vanguard High Command, incident report, Scout Patrol 919. Report Kraken Mare, exterior shelf shallows, target J4W-S, aberrant houseless servitor Wrathborn. Incident report 309, servitor Jaws was spotted in the southern ridge of Kraken Mare. Dive Tactical was notified and fire teams were pulled from the area. Upon retreat, one fire team was ambushed by a hive warband. Jaws then dove from above and crashed into the fire team using its body as a kinetic driver. One fire team member was killed on impact and their ghost was captured. Both remaining guardians were able to escape after a prolonged exchange of fire. Recovery teams dispatched. Recovery incident report 317. Dive Tactical and accompanying fire teams prepared an ambush and engaged Jaws outside of Delta Sector. When caught in the crossfire, Jaws initially fled the battle under the cover of taken forces, only to harry the fire teams with guerrilla tactics from the surrounding methane sea. Note, this Wrathborn servitor retains the use of their displacement thresher and has begun using it to pick up and drop fire team members into methane sea's open depths, outside the safety of the coral shelves. The thin density of the liquid makes survival without independent propulsion unlikely, and recovery remains for Ghost Resurrection difficult. Dive Tactical is advised not to engage Jaws near shelf drops or cliff faces in the future. RE, Jaws has been confirmed to have been converted to a Wrathborn servitor. This would explain its aggression and predatory behaviors. Following notable operator losses, Dive Tactical has erected radar buoys to detect ambushes in what have come to be known as the servitors' hunting grounds. Targeted redaction, hand cannon. The neon-saturated skyline of Neomuna pops bright against the starry night sky. On a rooftop overlooking an empty tree-lined plaza, Saint and Osiris sit in contemplative silence. They are making time for one another in the margins of their lives, pushing responsibilities aside as much as they can. So, is she doing any better? Osiris asks, breaking several minutes of peaceful silence. Sloan, he clarifies. Every day is small progress, Saint explains, and even small progress is something to be proud of. Osiris nods, watching the glittering lights in the distance. It's nothing short of a miracle that she survived all that time on Titan. A portion of Asher Mirror also seems to have survived his dive into the Pyramidion. Don't lose hope in the darkness, he says, joining his hand with Saint's. Yes, perhaps there is even hope for Brother Vance, Saint offers. Osiris stares at him in prolonged silence. Who? Saint coughs and politely changes the topic. Thin precipice, strand vortex sword. Kelgaroth kneels before a feeble altar in an empty court, a dead knight's realm, a shriveled, fleshless rind, a cautionary tale. A wizard floats over the altar. The high celebrant's domain was once a grand place of adoration. It holds a mighty tribute. The wizard Rakthirn, war council, whispers Zivorath's bait to the night. Kilgaroth remembers how Savathun fought the sky and became its puppet, all so she could usurp sword logic. Favor wanes, it can be rekindled. You were disarmed, shamed, beaten so many times by a light wielder. Kilgaroth stands, spinning to face Rakthirn. He thrusts a claw forward at the wizard's throat, but she swoops back from his reach. Kilgaroth sneers, I need no blade. I am wielded. The plates upon my body are razors. Should you remained with Savathun and prayed to her to give you the light, perhaps you would have found greatness then. You wither without her favor. I spit on the witch sister. I am an instrument of war. Not yet, not truly. Rakthrin conjures a dark bolt of lightning that saps the room's dim lighting and casts it into the altar. The altar splits apart with a timbered snap, revealing an emerald sliver of a blade, bleeding shade and whispering rapture. A shard of the Taken King's blade, conquered out of love, stolen away from Saturn's shadow. Kilgrath fixates upon the blade shard. The wizard gestures to it with a lipless smile, and the knight steps forward. I will take it, to be an instrument of her will, to cleanse the hate of weakness with loving violence. Kilgrath genuflects and encloses his claws around the emerald sliver, wisps of shadow spilling between the gaps in his claws. I offer myself to this union. The barrier of his flesh melts away. A will not his own enraptures him. Kilgrath, risen from bones taken by war. I think that whenever we get Brother Vance back, he's going to be sad.
So I would truly think that Brother Vance will actually come back as somebody evil, or that's like fully in darkness, where like we gotta go take him out. Like he's gonna be the next disciple for the witness. Osiris invaded him. The witness finds him and he starts worshiping the witness. He's gonna be the next disciple.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty unlikely that all four people come back and are good, right?
Yeah. Well, Sloan is like, she might not end up being good. She might get eventually just completely taken over. So.
Did we lose a fourth one? Because I know
Asher Mirror, and then
Asher, Sloan. Anna Bray left Mars before it got taken because she had to take.
That's right. That was the other. Yeah.
But yeah, those three: Sloan, Asher, and and what's his name.
Yeah.
Those three got taken for sure.
BV. Yep. Yep.
If only they could have taken Failsafe.
Dude, Nessus is huge. If they want to decrease the size of the game, it's Nessus.
Yeah, get rid of Nessus.
Listen, I've yet to figure out why Nessus is here. Like, they took all the old stuff, like I always kept holding out like, oh, there's gonna be something big that happens on Nessus or something huge is on Nessus. But
It's
I
because
think it's just like,
it's because they put proving grounds on it. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only reason. Can you still get to the Izanagi Forge on Nessus in like the middle? I'll test that later.
I don't know.
I don't know,
curious 'cause
man. I don't remember how to
'cause
get
I know
there
the Earth ones.
initially.
I know you can get to the Earth ones.
God, talk about a shitty quest. Was opening up all those forges on all three characters.
At least you
Man.
didn't go for the ship. Like that was a nightmare. That was absolute.
Yeah. Well, I think we're ready for the mailbag.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
47:35. Man, we are breezing through here today.
Hey.
Question 1. If you could see one event in the history of Destiny that we are aware of in the form of a cutscene, 165 frames per second, not 30, which would you choose?
How long of a cutscene?
I guess it could be a couple minutes long. So you couldn't
Okay.
really see like a whole war, but you could see like leading up
Yeah.
or
yeah,
like
I
a
think
good part of it.
The one I would choose is Shaq, Saint and Osiris sitting around a table and Shaq's reminiscing about how he beat Felwinter to death multiple times.
Okay.
It was great.
I knew you'd have a good one. I thought you would say talk about Shax's helmet staying on. I thought that would be the cutscene you'd want to watch.
No, that's already out there. You just gotta look hard enough.
You can find that. you just gotta know the right rule to look up.
Yeah.
Mine. I kind of had a lot of trouble with this one, but I think I would want to see. I definitely want to see a bad guy. Like, I would probably want to see some interaction between like Oryx, Xivu, Savathun, and it's probably something with them. I don't know really. I'm not well versed enough in the lore to be able to point to like a specific thing. I would want to see that, or I would just want to see like the Drifter weaseling out, being in places he shouldn't be, and weaseling himself out of it one way. That would probably be like my top two choices.
I'd actually like to see how Savathun stole the veil and hid it away, and
way back then. Okay.
like how does she actually defeat the Witness the first? I think we'll get a version of this, but I would just like to see it played out. Yeah.
Question 2. What would it take for you to dive back into the Crucible consistently and seriously?
Iron Banner gilding.
You do that until it's done, and then you quit. That's not consistent.
Yeah, but it's consistent because I don't win for a long time. I'm losing. So
For me, it's pretty easy. They would have to tie something, maybe not a weapon, because the community would die. But we need a good ranked system, multiple playlists that are ranked, and then any sort of objective playlist to where they added like capture like 2 flag, 1 flag, some sort of hold the ball, like oddball type game mode, like basically a team objective from Halo. If that playlist came into Destiny, like assault, capture the flag, oddball, those would be the things that would be the most likely to get me back in.
I just need rewarded for my time. So what this means is they need to change Trials of Osiris to after you win 7 games, you get the adept weapon, and then after you get 7 wins, you can turn that card in and get another adept weapon, and then you can continuously to do that. You get another 7-win card, turn that in for another adept weapon. So if they do that, depending on the weapon for the weekend, I'll get in there and play. So that means it needs to be a hand cannon, SMG, sniper, shotgun, rocket. Then I'll go play. But anything else, I'm not.
What
going to
I like where your head's at. If you go flawless, are you talking about like special shaders, special emblems? Like that's the only thing tied behind flawless?
Yeah, and also I think there should be a top 500 for the weekend.
Okay.
To where
like an emblem based thing
that's a temporary title. It goes in place of your title. It's a temporary, like if you used in that last weekend, we used top 500 in trials. You get a title for that week. If you want to stay, in top 500, go back. And now this next week, your top 500 title is a different color because you did it 2 weeks in a row.
Okay. So do like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, something like that, to where if you keep it like 7 weeks in a row, you're that violet color, so you know like somebody's super legit.
Yeah.
But I think it should be something like that, to where, you know, like everybody knows like the light, the spectrum of light colors, you know, something like that everybody would know. You wouldn't have to look up, or even if they just put a number, you can't use flawless because they've already used that title, but you know, ascendant or something like that, like lighthouse, you know, and then slap a number at the end of it. That would be crazy, you know, because you know people would want to grind to be get that number as high as possible.
Yeah.
Number 3, which game coming over the next 12 to 18 months are you most looking forward to?
Starfield.
I know Jared's answer. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
That's all my eggs are in that basket. If it sucks, then I'm going to be lost. I don't know what to play. So,
are you gonna have to get you a new graphics card for Starfield?
No, I'll be fine for it. I'll just tone down some of it on some of the settings.
Yeah. Chad, I'm sure you have some Nintendo game I'm not aware of.
No.
What's this
There's
Mario
no game fully coming out?
What about that Mario RPG game?
Yeah.
Oh, I played that on Super Nintendo, dog. But I'm gonna play it again. Bet your ass. Play that shit again.
Remastered, baby.
Yeah. And we also got
that does look like it's gonna be good. But honestly, it's just like DLC that's coming out for me. There's no major game that's coming out that I can think of off the top of my head.
DLC for there like a Zelda or something?
Pokemon has the 2 DLCs coming out.
Oh, really? Is it going to be different?
Winter.
Are they going to be different for Scarlet and Violet, or are they both the same?
The same. It's the same thing, but it's the whole like you can only catch these 3 mons over here and these 3 over there. That's it.
Do you have all your stuff synced to that Pokemon cloud thing from all the old?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think I collect a living dex, dog?
Do you have a full deck, like a full Pokédeck?
I have a full
like
living dex, which means I have one of each mon in the PC boxes. So like if I was playing red, I'd have a Charmander and then a Charmeleon and then a Charizard just sitting in the boxes.
Okay.
For all 151. But in this game, it's for all 400. And I did it in Sword and Shield also, and that was all 800-ish. One free, one of each form, just boop, right there.
So if let's say, so like my son's like super into Pokemon Go, and he's not quite like, he can't read, which makes any sort of like real Pokemon game very difficult. And I got him this Master Ball, helped him get his Master Ball on Pokemon Go, and he just wants to use it so bad. And I'm like, son, you cannot use your Master Ball on just a Charmander that's just chilling outside of our house, dude. Like, we have to save
He
this.
could.
We have to save this for like at least a Mewtwo. Like, that's the minimum
You
of
gotta
what we
save
need
it for like a shiny legendary. That's what you gotta save it
Yeah.
for.
So we did our first 5-star raid over vacation. Like, there just happened to be like 7 or 8 people all like going into a raid, and we caught it in that 120-second, so he was
Yeah.
so excited, but he didn't catch the Pokemon. But I did catch the Pokemon, and because I'm a good dad, I had to trade him my first 5-star raid Pokemon, which was pain. It was just painful to do.
Man,
But
you're a
when
good dad. I
you
would have
do
just looked
these
at him and been
things.
like, sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck. But so yeah, that's where we are. We have like Violet on the Switch. I thought about getting named like Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee because it's more similar to the Pokemon Go style that he that's what Pokemon is to him, is Pokemon Go. So, but anyways, my game I'm looking forward to. It's kind of hard. There's a lot of good stuff coming. I was gonna say there's that the new Super Mario 2D game that I can't remember. It's like Wonder, maybe is the name of it.
Oh yeah, Wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 2D, kind of like in the style. It's a different style, but the same concept of like 4-player local.
It's like the ones of
stream.
like
The
they
Super
made for
Mario
the DS.
Wii and Wii U and those.
Yeah.
Yep. And so my family likes to play those, but we usually end up in a pretty good fight over those because I'm better than everybody. So
Sucks to suck.
that's what I say. It doesn't go over real well. My wife says there's never going to be any suck after this. So, and then, but Final Fantasy 16 comes out tomorrow, or it came out today, but I get to go with cousin Cody and play it tomorrow. And I told Tiffany, I was like, listen, Friday, going to Cody's house. I'm leaving in the morning. You're on your own the entire day. Go do whatever you need to do. But I'm playing Final Fantasy and drinking beers and eating lots of food. So that's my plan for tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to that. I wish it came out on PC. There's been a lot of reports about this game running like trash on the PS5, which who would have ever imagined, especially after they came out and talked about how only the PS5 would be able to run it and it would showcase the power of the PS5. But Digital Foundry did their performance, and in performance mode, which bounces between 1080 and 1440, it quote looks ugly and frames drops to below 30. Quality mode is mostly locked and has good frame pacing. In performance mode, it drops to 720p at times in combat. So there's your power of the PS5. So Cody has a PS5. I refuse to buy it. I know this game's going to come in 6 months to a year. So I'm going to go get like the first 10 hours out of it tomorrow probably, and just really have to push myself to not go buy a PS5 to play it. But once I see it running at sub 30 or 720 and 30, that's going to be enough to be like, no, I'm good. I can wait. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my very long-winded answer to that. To question 4, how confident are you that Strand and Lightfall were initially part of the Witch Queen expansion, and it was cut and stretched over 2 years in order to give time for the final shape? So how confident are you? So I guess this is saying, first of all, let's start here. Do you guys think that the Strand subclass and Lightfall were initially part of Witch Queen? Would you guys agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Shadow?
Mainly because
I want to see where you're going.
Mainly because Naonuma is so tied to Savathun and what she did. to hide away the veil.
Yeah, it seems, I will say, it seems that Strand was like light or Stasis came with Beyond Light. Strand was going to come with Witch Queen. And if I had to guess that, because you remember the COVID was a real big part of the Witch Queen. They were working from home. They weren't in studio. So I would say, and was this whenever they pushed? No, they pushed to February for Beyond Light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that they're 8 months, 7 months in, and they realize they're not going to make Witch Queen be the full scope that they had. So they took the parts that were mostly finished that they could polish the best. And then everything else was held out. And then they added like Neomuna and those things and created a second expansion and then probably pushed the final shape back to give more time for that. I would say that with about 60% confidence, I would say.
Yeah, that confidence is pretty close to where I'm at. I think originally Savathun was not gonna die, and she was gonna become allied. Like she's gonna be an ally. I was like she's gonna be, but we wouldn't have had her killed off for years before we bring her back. That Witch Queen would have been about her becoming an ally, because how many times have these other enemies become allies to us now? To what has led up to her. So, yeah, so like 53%.
Ish.
Yeah.
What Jared said.
No, I'm not even that. I'm gonna say I have so much lore stuff going on that I don't care to have an opinion about this. Doesn't matter.
Your question sucks. Question 5. What's your favorite drink while playing Destiny?
In the morning, it's going to be a Celsius energy drink called Celsius. I'm a big fan of those. Late at night, it's going to be whiskey. It's mainly bourbon, Kentucky straight bourbon, or Scotch.
Okay. I'm a big fan of water. Hydro Homies for life, and occasionally some G Fuel, not a sponsor. Will make its way in there. Maybe a Rockstar here and there. Maybe some Stare Books if I'm getting it on the way home. But water is my drink of choice for most of my activities.
Beer number 1, probably an IPA of some sorts. And then I usually have a glass of bourbon also poured out. And then Diet Coke, Diet Mountain Dew, or water would be a pretty distant third to those things, because I usually only get to play at night. So this is kind of the time to unwind and hang out with the homies. With that, I think that brings us to the end of the mailbag, the end of the show. I just want to say we really appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for coming back. 118 consecutive weeks. I want to thank Chad. I want to thank Jared. Thank you guys. I know we've been doing this for a while. I appreciate you guys dedicating every Thursday. Or, I think Chad's 117 out of 118 and Jared's like 116 out of 118 or something. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I really enjoy playing games with you. Thank you so much. I'll let you guys sign off.
All right, so Fox took all the good, heartfelt stuff. So I'm going to be fishing this weekend. If I'm not fishing, I'm willing to do a raid or a dungeon, just hanging out. You even might catch me in a salvage. If you really, I must really like you if I do a deep dive with you, because deep dives, they kind of suck.
And I'm going to be fishing this weekend. If anybody's available and wants to do a dungeon, I'll do that too. I can't remember exactly what Jared said. I'm trying to read it back word for word, but I'm not that good. But yeah, I mean, I did all the seasonal challenges already before, just to make sure that I could sit in Iron Banner and go to town. And now that I did all that, it's just literally just the weekly fishing for the quest that happened. So we'll see if I catch it. Probably won't.
Go Cats. Love you guys.